party people, welcome to another weird little video. My name is Katie, if we haven't met before, and today, so it's Sunday, May 19th, 2019, which means that tonight, the last ever episode of Game of Thrones is gonna air, and I'm really emotional about it. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about my favorite characters. So today I'm gonna break down my 5 favorite Game of Thrones characters for you and what they contributed to the show that made me love them so much. There are so many characters that I would love to put on this list. There are very few characters in the show that I don't like. I want to do 5 worst characters, but I know already that I'm going to struggle with that because even a lot of characters that everybody else seems to dislike, I find things endearing about them or even totally love them. So I do want to make a little bit of a disclaimer right up top. Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. I have not read all the books in the Song of Ice and Fire lexicon. I've only read the first one. It was awesome. I loved it. I want to read the rest of them. Just haven't yet. And so all these opinions are going to be based on the show Game of Thrones on HBO. Number 5 for me is Lord Varys. I love Lord Varys. Lord Varys is such a beautiful phoenix of a character in the sense that he was just a slave who became a thief, and he was so good at acquiring knowledge from the children of the street that he became the master of whispers for I think it was King Aerys. Yeah. Just literally going from nothing to being an honorary lord just because you're so shady. You're just that shady. I just have so much respect. Being a eunuch, I feel really gives him some of his power and authority. Being the strange, hairless, little weird guy that he is, just really shaped him into a character that I just really love. The way that he just sort of sloppily betrayed Daenerys to Jon and was just yeah, Jon, let's do this, I'm with you. It's do you know who you're talking to? Jon Snow is not gonna buy into this right now. Why? You literally thought this was the best time? Just... But he was right. He was right. I think he was always right. When was he not right? I don't know. Rest in peace. Honestly though, when I die, just roast me with a dragon. Just straight up barbecue me. I want to go out Varys style. Give me that Varys style barbecue. Number 4 is Jon Snow. A lot of people would put Jon Snow a lot lower on their list because he's a little bit dumb, kind of. Sort of what I was talking about with the whole Varys thing about being maybe too honorable, or what really is your purpose behind being so honorable other than that's for some reason, your morality just points you in a direction and you just follow it because the examples in your life did the same thing, even if it's not necessarily smart or beneficial to everyone. I mean, so far it's worked out for Jon Snow in the sense that he's not dead, but he did die, Anyway, I didn't come here to drag Jon Snow. I came here to praise Jon Snow. Number 1, could just look at him. Can we just look at Kit Harington and look at his hair and look at him when he fights people, and can we just appreciate that for a second? There's more to his character than that, obviously, but I just wanted to start there. You'll come to understand as you watch this video, I approach my favorite characters all from a sympathetic angle, an angle of sympathy and like, you know, really feeling for them and whatnot. And so obviously Jon Snow, when in the first season you see how Catelyn treats him and how he's treated compared to his siblings in the first season, you automatically are like, oh, this is the hero, you know? And in a lot of ways he is, in a lot of ways he isn't. But most of all, my favorite thing about Jon Snow is he is straight up, like, so brave. Like, the way that he faces death and danger, and the way that he protects those around him and whatnot. Like, pretty much his only downfall so far has been that when he was technically still in the Night's Watch, he had sex with a woman. But, like, it's implied that they all do. So, I don't judge him for that. Anyway, number 4. Man, give it up. 10 points for Gryffindor. You know what I'm saying? Before I say number 3, I realize my list is a little bit male heavy. But watch till the end. I've got a lot to say about everybody. It just so happens that my top 5 consists of mostly men. I'm sorry, ladies. I love you. There are so many female characters on the show that I love, but you gotta give it up for the boys. Let's hear it for them. Number 3, I'm gonna have to say is Peter Baelish. Peter Bay, loved him from the moment I saw him. I love how he is all about that climb, man. He is all about the climb. The ladder is all that matters. I don't think that's the quote, but that ladder, man. Get that ladder. It's amazing to watch his character sort of like develop. I mean, develop is kind of the wrong word. He's kind of pulling the same BS the whole time. But like seeing how he doesn't fool anybody. Like nobody is fooled by him. I'm not even convinced that Sansa is ever fooled by him. But he just continues to climb. I think that he is so laser focused on just continuing to put one foot in front of the other and just reach a new position of power. And, you know, he just wants that cheddar. Like, he is just all about it. And there are some characters that are like that. Like, let's say like a Tywin Lannister, who he's always been in a position of like authority. And he's been powerful in a sense, you know. He was the hand of the king. He's Tywin Lannister. You know, if he's playing a game with anybody, he fools them, you know. And I have a lot of respect for that character. I love Tywin Lannister. But there's something about Peter Baelish who, like, is, like, strange. And he's not trustworthy. And he's smarmy. And he's sneaky. And he's slimy. And he gets away with it. I mean, in the end, he doesn't get away with it. But I just loved how long they kept him around. I mean, I just wouldn't have expected in season 1, seeing what he did to Ned Stark and whatnot, you know. Seeing him stick around for so long was just like, yes. Number 2 is Theon Greyjoy. Without a doubt. Oh, man. From the moment Theon Greyjoy, you know, stepped onto the screen, it's like, you had every reason to sympathize with him as you learned about his backstory, and why he was in Winterfell, for example, and when you learn about the Greyjoys and whatnot, it's like, he's a sympathetic character, but man, if he just didn't do whatever he could to not deserve your sympathy. Just the smuggest, most cocky, gross dude, and you know, you were rooting against him in the beginning. And it wasn't satisfying to see him as he was like being tortured by Ramsay and as he was losing his mind and losing his identity. But it was cool to see in that moment how I mean, in my brain at least, it clicked, like, he does not deserve this. And I want him to save himself or be rescued so badly. It was like nothing I've ever seen on TV before. He's genuinely the only character in the show who really has like a full rebirth. Like there are other characters in the show who like literally die and come back to life, but it's nothing compared to Theon Greyjoy becoming Theon Greyjoy again. Like he literally was Reek for like a long time. Theon Greyjoy is misunderstood, I think, in the same way that all teenage girls are misunderstood. And I think that that's really powerful, and I think that that's why I like him so much. Just feel for that misunderstood kind of character, you know? Like, he just wanted a family. All he wanted was a family, and he ended up getting his penis chopped off. Just saying. My number one favorite character from Game of Thrones is Cersei Lannister. Cersei Lannister is so powerful. Just the name Cersei Lannister like makes me feel human. What I love most about Game of Thrones is the lore, the backstory. I love learning new things about the history of the realm of Westeros, of all these different types of people. I love learning about the different religions. And I think that Cersei is a character that really exists in the part of Game of Thrones that I love the most. If that makes sense. She's like got this ancient sort of, not wisdom, because she's not wise. It's like true entitlement and power. It's like real entitlement. Cersei Lannister is like, everything that I hope and also fear that I will be as a mother. Is that okay to say? Spoilers to, you know, not the final episode, but whatever. Her death was awesome. I was disappointed that the witch's like premonition and the witch's prediction of her death, which to this point I think has been pretty accurate in terms of like her children being dead and whatnot. I always assumed that Jaime would kill her, and that's what I was like gearing up to see, which would have been awesome. But I think it was a good choice that they didn't have them do that. I liked seeing Jaime like comfort her. I've loved seeing her character evolve more than anyone else's. I loved seeing her being punished for her sins, and oh man, that whole chunk of the story that takes place with the High Septon or whatever. I mean, the High Sparrow. That's what it is. Man. Cool. She is so cool, man. So, dude, those outfits, dude. Cersei can wear an outfit. I will say, though, I feel like her hair, like, I get that they wanted her to look like crap for, like, a couple episodes. But, like, could we really not, like, give her a better haircut for the last, like, 2 seasons? Like, it was kind of painful for me to watch this powerful, beautiful, menacing, evil character have, like, really ugly, like, little orphan girl hair. Like, and I'm sure that it must have been, like, a deliberate choice by the showmakers. I just don't really understand it. That's pretty much the only criticism I have of Cersei. Everything else about Cersei's great. She's just fine just the way she is. You leave Cersei alone. I do have one honorable mention who I really should say this is like my ultimate favorite character, but I didn't want to put her on the list because she's like everybody's favorite character. Arya Stark. She has done so many super important things for the show. She's been such an important like lens to see the show through when you know, because it's like we've watched her grow up from being this little girl now to this adult who's making adult choices and like Similar to Jon, just seeing the bravery that's inside her and seeing this truly, like, magnificent, you know, sort of like, it's almost like she's like a stallion, you know, she's just so intense and just so willing to just run right into danger in order to do what she wants, which is protect others and avenge the people who have been taken from her. In conclusion, I just wanted to say, in defense of Game of Thrones, I have thoroughly enjoyed the last season. I think that obviously it's been, the timeline is pretty sped up in comparison to other seasons. The pacing is weird and it's been hard to get used to, and you can tell that the show writers have just been left to their own devices completely and just are like trying to come up with how to end it. But I think that that's fine, and I think that they're doing a perfectly fine job. Like, it has to end at some point. And my mother-in-law put it really well. Like, we were talking about how Game of Thrones is sort of like family. It's like a family member where it's like, you couldn't disappoint me, you know? Like, I'm always gonna love you, you know? So it's okay if it's not perfect. I realize a lot of people don't feel that way, and people are like petitioning for the final season to be redone, but that's just disrespectful and stupid, in my opinion. And that's really all I had to say. Thanks for watching my top 5 favorite Game of Thrones characters. I can't believe that I'm about to watch the final episode of the last season. I'm gonna make a video of my top 5 worst, because while they're hard to find, they do exist. Okay, follow me everywhere at Finley Tucker. You beautiful babies. Okay, goodbye. Not only am I, like, visibly shaken by tonight's episode of Game of Thrones, but I'm a little concerned that my top 5 characters is completely different now. That's not true. Like, I'll stand by it. But, like, I do just have to say, Jon Snow, like, I love Jon Snow so much. Like, I was telling Luke just a second ago, like, seeing him, like, so at risk again. Like, he's always at risk, I feel like, but for some reason it felt so much more urgent because this is, like, the last episode, and it's like, is he gonna die? Like, is this how this is gonna end? I realized that I would sacrifice my life for him. So there's that.
He's gone anyway, though. They're all gone.
They're all gone, though, so at the end of the day, who cares?
Dead.
This is just a YouTube video. This is just me trying to, you know, carry Game of Thrones with me wherever I go. Like Christmas.
This is so depressing.
This sucks. This sucks.